Hello everyone and welcome to another tutorial with Zenfi. Today I have a very exciting use case that we're going to be going through. We're going to be extracting booking information from email, and then what we're going to do is add that information to a spreadsheet. We're going to be going off of a Google Sheet template, making sure that we're always adding it to the appropriate one. And if the booking sheet for that specific day hasn't been created yet, we're going to go ahead and create a new one, making sure we respect the formatting, the columns, and everything else. So let's go ahead and get started. The first step is to set up your trigger, which is what's going to start your flow. Here we're using the Gmail trigger, meaning it's going to start when an email arrives into your inbox. Now, if you have booking emails, for example, you can make use of the conditional run. That way it only runs maybe when the subject contains the word booking, the email body, etc. This is going to help you save flow runs as well. Now the first step is to use our handy Gemini action. So here I'm letting it know I needed to extract the booking time, the book date, the client's name, and the client email. And I'm providing the text body, which is where this information is stored. Now it's very important that we toggle output as JSON. That way we can separate the parsing information. And then using our convert JSON to object, now I have these fields individually, which I can use in future steps. Now, to be able to look up the date spreadsheet, what we would need to do is go over to our drive. What I wanted to do is check if I have an existing spreadsheet for that date since we're extracting it. So we're going to look up this date, and if it doesn't exist, I want to create a new one. So I have this template sheet. However, if there's one already for that date, I want it to find that specific spreadsheet and add it to that one. So step number one, we're going to look up and see if it already exists by using the list files folders action. File name, I'm going to add the book date. And then here in query, I'm using this query indicating this is a folder where all of my files are in. If you want to create a booking folder, you can also do that. So I'm adding the ID there. That way it's only looking in that specific folder. I'm indicating I only want files, and then max results, I have put 1. So if it's the first booking, meaning it doesn't find a file with that specific name in that folder, I want to make a copy of the template file. So this is a copy file action. We're going to make a copy of this template, and I'm going to name it with the book date. That way we always have the exact same naming convention for each one of our sheets. And I'm going to use a variable to save the file ID. However, if it's not the first booking, I'm just going to save the file ID of the file that was found using that search criteria. And once again, saving it in our variable. Now once we have that, we're going to go ahead and find the time. We now know which spreadsheet we need to add it to. Now which row does it belong to? So what we're going to do is, in this case, I have different time slots. So if it needs to be added to 10 a.m., I needed to find row number 3. That way I know where to add it to. So we're going to use our lookup row action. We're going to use our file ID from the variable that was saved. Sheet name is always the same. And then here we're going to use the column A, the time slot column, to be able to search for the booking time that was extracted. And now that I know which row I need to be updating, we're going to use the update row action. So once again, file ID from the variable. Sheet name is the same. Row number comes from our previous action now that we know which one it is. And I'm going to add the extracted information like the client's name and the client's email to the appropriate row, just like this. So we would be replacing these two columns. Let's go ahead and see this in action. I'm going to be using this email as an example, so it should be creating a new spreadsheet since we only have one for December 23rd. We'll go ahead and start a new instance with that email I just showed. And since it didn't find a spreadsheet that met that criteria, it's making a copy and it's adding the booking information. And now that the flow has finished, if I go to my drive, I can see it created a new spreadsheet and it added it to the appropriate time slot just like that. As you can see, it's that easy to be able to make sure you keep track of your bookings appropriately. That way you can ensure you never miss one. If you want to take it one step further, maybe send a Google chat message to someone on your team, letting them know that you have a new booking, adding it to your calendar using our Google Calendar actions, or even sending an email to the client letting them know that we have received the information, requesting any onboarding information for their appointment, sending over any handbooks. Like always, Zenvi is very customizable, so you can take this process and add as many steps as you want. If you have any questions, make sure to leave them down in the comments section, and we'll see you guys next time.